time for another round of Brandy. Candid conversations over cocktails about all things brand with your hosts, Reilly, Newman, and Scott Saunders, the brand developers behind Motif Brands.
Hello and welcome back to another round of Brandy. This episode is a Brandy shot, and we have a bit of news and heading into actually a topic about brand loyalty and customer experience and really kind of diving deep on that. But to start, speaking of deep, DeepSeek just stole $600 billion from Nvidia. So Nvidia was the world leader of actually the economy. They're the largest company in the world, topping at like $3 trillion, I think, market cap. And they had $600 billion disappear within 24 hours. And that comes with
like
DeepSeek.
Disappear, like just like it was there one day and the next day the numbers aren't there.
That's how the market works. And so DeepSeek is a Chinese-owned company who announced that they have this new AI. And if you're familiar with Nvidia from the news, they're leading the front with AI, with chips, with all that stuff. That's
all being powered
that.
Instead of
Huge.
being powered by Intel. It's been
now it's Nvidia.
Powered by Nvidia.
And so Chinese-owned DeepSeek comes out and goes, "Oh, we beat all these metrics from OpenAI and these other AI options, and we're using way less energy." And so it sent a huge shockwave through the market. It hurt Nvidia massively, and then hurt Microsoft, Alphabet, aka Google, and all these other brands that are involved with AI. And within 24 hours, it was like this huge deficit created. And so what's interesting about that is the information that came from this Chinese company was actually reported from them, not verified on any fronts or anything like that. And there's been reports now, probably by the end of the day, there were reports coming out going, okay, this information seems fishy. How are they doing this?
Yeah.
And there's reports of them getting Nvidia chips illegally and doing things that aren't above board. So then they're kind of fudging the numbers. But since then, Nvidia has recovered a portion of what it lost, and the market seems to be stabilizing. But what was interesting about it is that initially I was like, okay, this is incredible on a technology front. Technology does this where it should compound and become more efficient, right? But it comes down to trust. Is that, yes, you can go on your app store and download DeepSeek right now and use it as your new ChatGPT or OpenAI product, but you don't know what's happening to your information. You don't know how it's being handled, what they're capturing. And since then, it has also come out that they're tracking keystrokes. They're tracking a lot of stuff on your phone once you download the app and start using it. So trust is a major factor. And this is kind of brought to mind, like, it's not even the fact that this thing's more efficient and better and, more effective in what it's doing, but it comes down to trust. And with brands, it always comes down to that, where it's going, okay, yes, this could be a cheaper, faster option.
Right.
But if they're getting access to your information and stealing things, like, is that really worth the trade?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, since they are Chinese owned, the information is highly censored. So even if I saw an example where someone typed in, what's that historical moment when the guy stands in front of the tanks with the grocery bags?
Okay.
And that's him standing up to the Chinese government. It was a historical moment. And it started writing, and then it gets overwritten, and it goes, "No, this actually is outside of my parameters. I can't answer this." And so
interesting.
so it's already
Yeah.
so it's this interesting thing in a very hot market right now. But to me, it just brought up the amount of trust that we put in products, yes, but also in the brand, in our perception of it.
Yeah.
It's like, just because something's fast and cheap and easy,
it brings convenience to your life. Be mindful. It could be a wolf in sheep's clothing. I mean, especially when we're talking about apps and it giving information away and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Hot off the press info. Thank you, Reilly. But we're gonna actually switch up and do a quick shot of another topic, not on trust. If anything, maybe based on trust, right?
Oh yeah.
Is longevity, right? The longevity that brands can have with an audience, and whether they choose to capitalize on that or strengthen the trust bond with longtime consumers of the brand.
So last week, the other day, Netflix had an earnings call, and they reported, increase in subscribers, but also, hey, we're increasing pricing. And so I mentioned to Scott, oh, Netflix is raising their pricing again. And Scott's like, oh, that's funny. I actually just got an email from them. And that's what kind of led to this episode is that Scott,
so
the context of the email.
And if you are a Netflix user, you probably are received this email, right? It's basically announcing the price update. But what was funny was they chose to, through variable data in this, obviously automated email that they're sending out to all their customers, they had basically that you've been a member for so many years, which brought irony to the email that I received from them because it says, upcoming price update. Hi, Scott. Thank you for being a valued member since 2004. We hope you're enjoying everything Netflix has to offer. We're updating your monthly price to $17.99 pre-tax on February 23rd, 2025. And then I wanted to confirm my billing date and what card is going on. And then it says, you'll always find something that's right for you and right for the moment. Next month alone, we're releasing 94 shows and movies. Whether you're looking to revisit old favorites or discover something new, we've got you covered. We're here to help if you need it, blah, 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 blah. The Netflix team. Now, what was funny was 2004. I'm like, okay, so I've been a member for over 20 years with them. And this is obviously dating back to when Netflix came and you had, an account, but it was to get things through the mail, get their DVD discs in the mail or the kiosks, right? So since 2004, it's been just going into the 21st year, I've been a Netflix customer. But it's funny that they highlighted that, which made me feel very special. And then, but then even didn't the brand could have pivoted going, we thank you so much. Unfortunately, due to blah, 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 we are going to, but it was almost like a hey, hope you're enjoying everything. We're updating your monthly price. Now, could they have maybe honored the fact that I've been a member for that long?
Yeah, and I feel like that there's a missed opportunity there, and it's almost tone deaf. It's not reading the room, and it's tone deaf, where 20 years is a long time in someone's life, and a lot can change in that. Contextually, Scott's youngest son just turned 21. So he's been a Netflix customer the entire lifetime of his son, his offspring. So Scott's life has changed dramatically in that time. Netflix has evolved so when Scott signed up for Netflix was a public company for about 2 years. The share price was about $2 at the time. Now, as of today, they're worth $978 per share. So
Wow.
that's like a 80,000% increase. And so if you just look at the growth of the company, where they came from, and Scott's been
along the ride the whole way
as a loyal customer,
not as a stockholder, but a customer,
as
right?
a customer paying every month for 240 months.
Yeah.
They could have done something rather than an automated email that filled in first name and filled in the variable data.
And I get it. I get it with the amount of content. I'm always amazed. Any of these streaming services, right? You look at Hulu or all these other, they're putting, the show, they're creating content. And some of it is really good, right? They're producing content. And I'm always amazed that they don't, it's just they do it with the hopes of adding more customers, but they don't, it's not like I'm constantly having to shell out more money, right?
Right, yeah.
But eventually, I understand it catches up, and you have to have increases. And okay, we're talking $2 a month. It's not going to make it or break it for me. But what's interesting is they could have easily recognized that I've been with them for X amount of years, and that unfortunately, with rising costs, we're going to have to. But guess what? Because you've been with us we're going to waylay 6 months, a year before you had this price increase. Everyone else that's been with us for 10 years or less, they're all getting this price increase, but because of you, we recognize you, we appreciate you. Unfortunately, we are going to have to do this, but to throw me a bone, they're going to delay it. Even 3 months. 3 months would have been like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything. It's like my loyalty to them means nothing in this little, what is going to you're probably going to see some people drop Netflix, right? It's a ballsy move every time you increase membership rates. People are going to decide what's the threshold for me, right?
Yeah. To me, it's like coming down to respecting the relationship, where a relationship it's not passive. It's not, and with customers, especially in a recurring annual revenue subscription model like what Netflix is that it's not a one and done sale. It's not this, okay, thank you for your business, I'll see you later. But that's why they have to keep creating new content. They have to keep enticing the buyer to come back.
Right.
And so in this situation, they missed an opportunity to actually create like a sense of reciprocity where they could have been, okay, Scott's been with us for a good time, awesome paying customer, 240 months under his belt, nice. Let's throw him a bone, and that's going to create reciprocity where now Scott is, psychologically indebted to the brand. He's now even more committed.
Thankful.
They could have, thankful for, oh wow, you guys godfathered me in, or grandfathered me in, godfather. That would have been, they could have made a pun. Then, for 6 months, a year, okay, boom. And then he's still paying what he was already paying. And then going on from there, it's like, okay, the relationship though, Scott as a customer has been continually making that choice to keep paying for 240 months and actually enjoying it and probably telling people about it and all that. So it's like, to me, it just highlighted the missed opportunity that so many brands probably do have, where you do have that recurring customer, you do have that lifetime value of a customer who keeps coming back. And then we actually didn't add up what your lifetime value is for 240 months, what you've paid in total.
I have no idea.
But they could have done something. But
and here's another great example. I just paid my Verizon bill. And I went through the port, on my cell phone, through the portal, paying the bill. But it's funny because when I log into the account, up at the top, there's a brand, and it says, Scott, thank you so much for being a Verizon customer since 2001. Granted, I mean, I'm dating myself, but it's like, okay, I've been with Verizon since pretty much the birth of the cell phone, back 2001, obviously not the birth of it, but I've been with Verizon for that long. Now, you'd think they always have an offer for like, hey, go to auto pay and we'll shave $30 off your bill, right? I don't do auto pay because I like to have if at all possible, I like to have management of my money. So I don't, the thought of someone just being able to automatically take out money without me going, no, pay this, right?
Yeah.
So I always opt out. Now, so I know I can save $30 there, but you'd think, again, with Verizon, you'd have some threshold. Customers have been here with just a loyalty program where, they're going to shave off bits or give me added bonuses or added value into my plan because I've been with them that long. So let's say next year when I go 25 years or, it's like, hey, your silver anniversary, boom. Guess, like whatever it is, I don't care. Free Apple Watch or, or we're going to throttle back an extra 20% off your bill from here on out. Or I don't know, you lock in on your rate. So as their prices go up, mine don't, whatever it is, things like that. If there's ways that a brand, as a small business, if you listen to this, if there's a small way you can recognize customers that have been with you for a long time, have been loyal to your brand, give them extra perks, give them added a perceived value, whatever it is, right? Doesn't mean you have to lose lots of profit off of it, but find ways that, because guaranteed you throttle that in and bring them in even tighter. You really, again, long customers, they're happy with you. Guess what? They're going to share and talk about your brand.
Yep. And we actually just wrote about this on our blog, talking about American Express, and they integrated on their credit cards decades ago, where they put a simple line where it says member since in the year you joined.
Yeah.
And it was this very cost effective, cost some pennies to do it, but they've had that on their card, and that alone reminds the card user that, oh yeah, I have been with them since 2001, or I have been with them since that. And it creates this, it's kind of to me the same thing that Duolingo does so well with streaks, and creating this consistent, like, oh no, I'm an American Express user because I've been with them since, even my card, it's seriously like 2008 or something. I'm like, oh, I can't break that streak. I don't want to restart. And same thing with like Duolingo, where I'm like, these brands could learn from it, where you're encouraging that, or like you said, like leaning in, going, oh yeah, you're at the silver level. Thank you for 20 years of being a customer, and then throw them a bone. But it's like that, respecting the relationship in that way, and realizing that your customers aren't doing it passively. It's not this. Because even especially nowadays with like, you have Mint, you have AT&T, you have all these brands wanting your business.
Right. And if you're a small business owner that even has like a like, let's say wineries that have wine clubs, right? And you have members, anything that you have in your business that involves membership with, you're able to track how long they've been a member. So even after a 1 year, celebrate them. After a 5 year, celebrate them. 10 years, celebrate them. Find ways that you can give them exclusives that they can be celebrated, and it gives them something that, without it knowing it, all of a sudden they get something in the mail from you, because guess what? They've been a customer for this long, And it may even go back to when they've never had constant transactions, but the fact that you're making note that you were a customer and they knew when you were a customer and they're grateful. When a brand sends that message, that can really resonate with the audience.
Yeah. So, and to that point, that's what like American Express, it increased their retention with card users through the roof.
Yeah. Again, the thought of, am I being recognized and valued, really, other than just calling me out on it or making note of that, which is very easy to do. What else do I have for that? So anyway, membership has its privileges. And so can your brand if you're incorporating ways to celebrate the longevity you have with your consumer. So I think we'll wrap that up for this quick shot of Brandy today.
Until next time,
cheers.
Cheers.